Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. The only place where you can find a retrospective of the entire video game industry. Welcome everyone to, at some time in August 1982, we were last playing TI Toad on the Texas Instruments home computer, the poorly named TI-99 4A, but a good version of Frogger. Let's see what our next game is, after this commercial break.
Last year, this Atari. Now the kid wants a computer.
A computer?
Great idea. The SuperCharger from Starpath. Don't cost much. Plug it in the Atari and play SuperCharger.
What a disgusting looking device.
Under $15 each. And the SuperCharger comes with this Phaser Patrol game. Rocket stuff. And the kid can fight those commie mutants from space.
Fight what?
Because they're out there. Give your kid a...
Available at fine stores.
Available at fine stores everywhere. Here we go. Our next game is Phaser Patrol on the Atari VCS. Phaser Patrol is the very first of the SuperCharger add-on, or the way you could play on the SuperCharger system. Let's take a look at the box. So this is the one that was included with the SuperCharger. And you can see on the front, this is the Arcadia box. It's also by Starpath. Either Starpath or Arcadia, the SuperCharger is the new way to play on your Atari home console. So there you go. It adds the game playing power to your Atari video computer system, but you need a cassette player, and we'll explain why. Let's flip it over to the back. I show you an example of the screenshot for Phaser Patrol. Defeat the Dracon Armada in challenging realistic battle action. But down there, oh gosh, that's the whole kit. You plug in the SuperCharger to your Atari VCS. It has an audio jack cable that comes out of it. You plug that into a tape player, any tape player, and then you're going to be playing cassette tapes on your Atari. Not something you've ever seen on the Atari so far, but definitely on home computers. So we're not actually turning this into a home computer. This is not the Atari home computer. This is the VCS, your console, but you're going to be playing cassette tapes for the very first time. Now, this back of the box boasts tons of stuff because this is a game we've already seen before. It's kind of like the Star Raiders or Space Combat game, but look at how much this has. And everything they're boasting on the back, they're going to deliver for this game. Pretty cool. Let's see what the other art we have for Phaser Patrol. Now, this is the box that was by Starpath. If you look in the bottom corner right here by my shoulder, Arcadia Corporation changed its name to Starpath. It's not associated with Emerson Radio Corp or its game Arcadia 2001, which is another home console we've already seen here on the channel. There we go. It's a SuperCharger game, the very first SuperCharger game. In that commercial, was that Archie Bunker that was trying to sell us the SuperCharger? It really did sound that way, right? Yes, thank you so much for hitting that like button. So what this does is the SuperCharger is, there it is, the very terrible looking device, but it's an add-on or a peripheral for your Atari VCS. It's essentially adding 6K of memory to your Atari, and that's just immense because if you remember, the original Atari only had 128 bytes of memory. That's it, 128 bytes. This thing's going to add 6K to it, 6,000. There we go. There's Phaser Patrol with the cassette and the box with the SuperCharger. It's a very clunky looking thing, but it's meant to appeal to people that don't want to pay too much for video games because each cassette was only 15 bucks. Nice touch. And notice in the ad when we saw Archie Bunker selling us, they didn't tell us what the price for the SuperCharger was. And there's the example of a screenshot to play some Phaser Patrol. So this device will not fit inside of the ColecoVision add-on, that extra peripheral that allowed you to play Atari games on your ColecoVision. It also is not going to work later on the 7800. I've heard that they found some ways to modify to get it to work, but when this first came out, this only worked on the Atari VCS or the Sears if you had the Sears version of it. All right, let's take a look at the manual for Phaser Patrol. How do we play? What is it, Arcadia? Oh, this also tells you about the SuperCharger video game system. It's not really a system, it's just the add-on, but you set it up this way, make sure the power switch is on, plug it into the SuperCharger, turn the power switch on, and then make sure you plug in the audio jack to your cassette player to play some cassettes in your Atari VCS. Doesn't that seem like a step down? Because most of the time we want the cartridges to play. I know they don't hold as much information, but you put the cartridge in and play, and it works a lot better as far as load times. Now you got to wait for the cassette to load on your Atari VCS. Oh, yeah, it costs a lot. That's why they didn't mention the price or tell us the price in that ad. I can understand why. So first you got to do is rewind the tape and pretend you're playing on a home computer now, because you have to rewind, adjust the volume level, play the tape to get that to load into your Atari VCS. You wait a few moments, and then they do this on home computers. If you have trouble, you have a lot of stuff to go through. Look at all the troubleshooting right there. If everything seems okay, turn up the tone and volume. Nice. Got it. All right, now on to the game with Phaser Patrol. Your mission is fly your interstellar interceptor like you never flew before, because you stand between the Dracon Armada and their cruel objective. It's serious trouble. The Human Federation's been caught napping. While pretending to sign a peace treaty, the devious Dracons have launched a surprise attack, and they're virtually captured the Federation's farm galaxy. Victory seems so close to the Dracons can practically smell it with their hideous nostrils. We have no idea who they are. At least they're not Atarians. One lone defender stands between them and the control of human supply. Us. We're the only survivors, as usual. So our enemy wouldn't have lunch without a Dracon. They're explaining what the enemies are, the Dracons, and then the Dracon Armada. Each Dracon fighter is armed with the lethal photon torpedoes, a la Star Trek. You've got shields, but a direct hit can disable them. So to get started, it has lots of unique features. If you've never played this before, this is very similar to another game we've seen called Star Master on the Atari VCS. But bear in mind, Star Raiders has not come out yet for the Atari VCS. We have seen it on Atari home computers and lots of variations of it, but on home consoles, there's only been a few. The sector map allows you to warp from one location of the galaxy to another, so it's kind of like a Star Trek variant, dumbed down. And then has the different keys that you're going to see on the map, like the enemy sector, friendly star bases, Dracon occupied sector, and then unknown sectors, and you travel there to see what it is. Yes. Thanks for the off-topic story in the chat. Love it. Yes, I don't know why you would want to wait for the cassette to load, but this does offer a unique video game experience. So bear that in mind when we start to play. It's going to feel a little different than the original Atari VCS. So after we do the long-range scanner, we move our cursor around using the joystick, hit the red button to go where we want. Then once we go there, the sector map flashes, and then we warp to a different place on the quadrant. After we warp there, we can decide what we do. If it's a star base, you can visit there to refuel and get some energy back. And then it's back to the action. If you want to, I think it explains all the controls, because this one is going to utilize one of of all the games we played so far on the Atari VCS. This one's going to be utilizing every single switch. So if you want to get to the sector map, you flip the left difficulty switch to position B. That'll get you to the map screen. And then, so you kind of have to have the console nearby to flip all the switches you need to. And then whenever you want to go to the main first-person view or space combat view, then you flip the switch back. If you get to a star base, they can bail you out of trouble when you're low on energy or damage. You just warp to a star base and wait. Your energy will be replenished, and the damage will be repaired. And then when you want to go back, you go to position A on the difficulty switch. So you're going to be flipping and doing all the switches on your Atari VCS. When you actually get in first-person view, that's the instrument panel. The bottom of the screen shows you your condition alert, your shield status, and oh, here we go. It explains the breakdown in the manual. There it is, what you're going to be looking at. Lots of information on screen, very similar to Star Raiders. Done very well, and kind of like it's a strategy, a slightly tactical game. Yeah. Oh, that's true. I love Star Raiders. When we first saw it on the channel, the one on the Atari blew my mind. That was so good compared to all the other games you'd be playing on a home computer. And now we've had lots and lots of variants similar to Star Raiders. So the computer status advises you of their radar map, rangefinder, torpedo, long-range scatter status, and they're telling you all this while you're in the first-person view, which is kind of nice. It lets you know if there's any torpedoes. We have a really good radar screen on this one, energy reserve, and warping. And this breaks down everything. They tell you all in the manual. Nice touch. So we have the damage status. Oh, man, yeah. We have things go down, just like in Star Master, which we've seen by Activision. The shields, the computer, long-range scanners, and torpedoes. And then we have a torpedo sight. It is awesome. The reticle for this one works really well. And the rangefinder shows you how far away enemy ships are. The controls are going to be using your Atari VCS joystick, one button, and all those switches. Look at that. The joystick is your left joystick only. The color and black and white switch controls your shields. So you're actually going to be flipping that to turn your shields on and off. The left difficulty switch controls the screen. The right difficulty switch is the challenge for how difficult you want the game to be. And then the game reset switch is the new game as usual, but you don't use the game select switch on this one. So I guess you don't use every switch on here. The game select isn't used at all. And if you become a champ, they award you based on your skill and how quickly you can defeat all of the Dracon Armada, Hero, Ace, Pilot, and Greenhorn. And it breaks down the scoring here. And then conserving energy is the other thing, how fast you do the game and how much energy you have at the end of it. Oh, that's right. They were on the Buck Rogers. Maybe they're doing that one as a nod to it. So how do you work up? They're giving you some tips and tricks. Look at this. Lots of stuff because there's a lot of detail for an Atari VCS game. Sneak preview of other games by Arcadia. And we don't need to see that because we're going to be seeing everything. It shows you how to change the games out, which must be really cumbersome on the SuperCharger. You have to load a different cassette and then play that cassette and wait for that one to load. Go make yourself a sandwich and then come back and maybe your game will be done. Yes. Yes. Is this going to be better? Let's find out. So this one was Starpath in Europe and Arcadia in North America. But then they eventually changed the name. It was just the Starpath SuperCharger. Here is Phaser Patrol by Dennis Caswell at sometime in August 1982. Let's go. Presentation begins just on this screen. And when you're ready to play, you go ahead and hit reset. It begins on the main screen. As we move around, we select what sector we want to go in. So I'm going to try this unidentified sector right here. And engage. We warp to it. Got a really cool display panel there. Once we're there, we switch to our first-person view. So now I'm flying around. Look down at the bottom of the screen, and you can see the radar. The radar is really awesome. For this game, compared to the other ones we've seen, it works really well. Telling you where the enemies are and how far away they are. And the reticle on the screen will turn red for you whenever you get a shot that can home in. And it actually follows the enemy. Let's go. And you see our shields are wearing down on the top of the screen. I got one more enemy left. Got it. So if you hit the red button when the reticle turns red, it homes in on the enemy. Great effect. It works even better than the other ones we've seen so far on home computers. All right, so after we're done there, we head back to our map. Cleared that sector away. Very nice. Let's go ahead and head over to a star base. Use some of the energy and refuel. Warp on. And then we just stand by and it's going to be repairing. There's our shields clearing up. Very nice. And I think that's it. That's all we had damage. So we did a pretty good job last time. Okay, we'll head back to the map. Let's go to the next sector that's unoccupied with this one here. And warp. Engage. Oh, I pushed the button twice on accident. I guess you can warp twice to the same place. Okay, we're in. So we have... Oh, nothing's here. So we'll go back. So this one's clear. Let's head over to a Dracon occupied space. So warping to a new spot. And go. First person view. I'm looking down at my radar. Missed him. You gotta be really quick on the draw. There we go. Awesome. And then we got another one right here. Just get him in your sights. Once it turns red, hit that red button as fast as you can, and it's going to warp in and attach to him. Yeah, the effect of flying and first being in a cockpit, this is honestly top tier of some of the best ones we've seen so far. Not just on consoles, but just in general. This makes me think that if I had a SuperCharger, and this is the one that came bundled with the SuperCharger, you'd be thinking, I need to get every game on the SuperCharger because this is so good. We do have a little wait time, so if you miss your shot, see, I'm not timing the shots correctly. It will. Oh, I think our radar is down. No, shields are down. Okay, so that's not good. Looks like we cleared the sector though. Woof. Yeah, we made it. Okay, I'll warp our way back here and heal up. Love it. Doesn't it? It does feel kind of like we're playing an Intellivision game. So we're going to stand by, get our shields back. Oh, yeah, that feels better. Nice. Yeah, now, of all the games we played so far, this kind of game is on lots of computers with Star Trek variants. This one isn't a full Star Trek variant. It's a lesser one, more like Star Raiders. So, we still haven't seen the official Star Raiders on the Atari VCS, but we have seen games like this. Cosmic Conflict on the Magnavox Odyssey 2 has already been out, and we've seen that one. Doesn't compare even close to this. Star Master, of course, in June of 1982 by Activision we've seen. And then Space Spartans on the Mattel Intellivision, very highly rated one. And then we also saw recently Space Attack on the Atari VCS, which is essentially Space Battle that was on the Intellivision. Those are the real big ones, main ones we've seen so far, and that's it. This one is king. If you had anyone to get, this is the one to go, if you want to wait for the load times. All right, let's warp. I love the effect of the dash. All right, we're in. We got some enemies. Let's go. Showing up on radar. Shows you how far away they are, too. Coming up. Oh, missed it. So you got to be in right whenever it turns red. Got it. Nice. And the other thing, too, is your torpedoes, they have an explosion. If your enemy's in anywhere around that explosion, they will blow up. And you can dodge the shots if you're careful enough. Oh, I got really lucky on that one. Let's get another one in there. Where is he? There he is. The way that the shots fire at you or come at you is so cool. That's it. We got it. Nicely done. And then we're done in that sector, and you make your way around the grid, just destroying as much of the Dracon Armada as you can. Yeah, the sound effects are fantastic. This is a great way to show off the Supercharger. It's so good. It's so bad. All right, let's go ahead and head over to this sector. Warp over. Energy's looking pretty good right now. Shields are holding well. Anybody here? Yeah, we got some. Let's get them. Nice. I love the radar at the bottom left. Oh, it's so great. This feels like it's a space combat game that's just a notch above how well it feels. The control is so good on the Atari VCS. So we cleared away that sector. Let's move our way over here. We're looking pretty good. And your rating at the end of this will determine how quickly you can clear everybody and how much energy you have left. How well you took care of the ship. That was a good one. Love it. And because of this new reticle control, the way this feels, it's very fresh. It almost feels like I'm playing a shooter from the future. Oh, where is he? And the way the radar works in the bottom makes me feel like I'm playing... Oh, that was great. Great shot. I think we got them all. Yeah, it looks good. Love it. Who knew? I thought when I was going to boot up an Atari VCS game on cassette that this would be a load of trash, but it is definitely not a load of trash. All right, let's head over to the next one. And you can see, I think we have some of the Armada. Yeah, the Dracon Armada is getting close to this side. We'll go ahead and go here. And we'll clear away some of the Dracon space. Yeah. Stand by. I think they're just gonna... Yeah, they give the energy back. Looking good. All right, let's head over to this side. There was another one we did play on the TRS-80, but it didn't have... It was very similar with the map, but the way that the controls... The way the game controlled, it didn't respond like this one. And I give the nod to the sound effects, too. It works really well, like you are playing a space shooter. They obviously got the idea from Star Wars, and this is the closest thing of being in the cockpit as Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Cleared that one away really fast. That was great. All right, let's go in. See how it homes in? Even if, as long as you hit the red button when the reticle turns red, it homes in on the enemy. It's so cool. But if you miss them, it's still going to give you that explosion to blow them up. Looking good, and I think we got it. Nice. Yeah, we're clearing away everything. Got to check our energy. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and head over here because we have some Dracons going near this base. It's so cool. Yeah, it's very, very satisfying. The sound effects and the way it responds. And it shows you the distance, too, of the number. Let's do this. Look at that one. So cool. Yeah, whenever you get that timing right and you hit it where it's red, and then it hones in, it's awesome. Cleared it away. Looks good. All right, there you go. That is Phaser Patrol for the Atari VCS. Now, we already rated Star Master when we played it as a really good game. It was a quality title by Activision that played very similar to this at 4.5 stars. Of all the games you can play right now on a home console, Phaser Patrol actually I would consider as top tier because of that mechanic with the reticle and because of the sound effects. The whole package of a Star Raiders type game before the official Star Raiders came out on the Atari VCS. It's like a must-have. So if I would rate this, it'd be still one of the best games you could play right now on a home console, around the 5-star range, 4.5 or 5 stars. Yeah, 4.5 at least, going from Kun. Yeah, it responds really, really well. And considering the other ones we played, like Space Spartans, it did talk to you, but it didn't respond or play this well. Yeah, I'm going to have to go 4.5 stars, but I'd actually give it a slight nod to Star Master. It's still around the same range. Manly's going 4.5 as well. Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, let's see what our next game is. We're still on our Atari VCS, and this is the other release you could have been gotten besides the pack-in title on your Atari SuperCharger. This is Communist Mutants from Space. Gotta love that title. Let's take a look at the box. Oh my gosh. Communist Mutants from Space. You gotta have the SuperCharger unit, and you gotta have a cassette player. Artwork is fantastic. Vaporize the communist mutants before they overrun your home planet. Because the only good communist is a dead communist, right? Oh, yeah. Atlas is going 5 stars for it. Yeah, very nice. Oh, that's true. We're going to see the Frogger port later for this device. They always point out all the things this does. It has a mutant mother. Is that a selling point? Number of player selection, difficulty selection, shield option, time warp, different game options to play. And you can see on the right side of the screen, it looks like it's Space Invaders, at least by that screenshot. They were the guys, right? Are those the same? Yeah, they were in the canteen. Yeah, you're right. They just replaced all their instruments with weapons. They were communists in the cantina and Star Wars all along? And just like the other box, the bottom left has the sticker showing that Arcadia changed the name to Starpath, not to be confused with Arcadia 2001. I'm guessing they changed the name because the home console, Arcadia, was already out. Very interesting. And we also have the cassette that you'd be playing Communist Mutants from Space. So not cartridge, we're going to pop into the VCS now. Too crazy. How do we play this game? How do we kill the communists? Please tell me. So just like the other SuperChargers, gives you instructions for how to play, install, play the tape, go get some roofing done at your house, and then come back and maybe the game's loaded. Your mission is vaporize the mutant warriors before they overrun your home planet. The enemies are evil rulers of the planet Ruski. They launch a diabolical attack. A cunning mother creature filled with irradiated vodka transforms helpless slaves captured on peaceful planets into bloodthirsty communist mutants. I can't make this up, people. The communist mutants attack like crazy, wipe out wave after wave of them, and they keep on coming. The more you vaporize, the nastier they get. You've got trouble. I love this. I think I might play this game even longer because of the title. So how do you play? The game select is your menu. You can customize different variations like other Atari VCS games. Move the joystick up and down, push the fire button to select. If you leave the menu screen for a few games, it'll self-play or go into a track mode. Nice touch. So there you go. There's our options. Players, difficulty, shields, time warp. So they give you different options. It's like an old school Atari game. I love it when they give you more options. When we began in 1977, all Atari games had variants that you could play. 50, 60, 100, even more if you're playing a Space Invaders on the VCS. As soon as play begins, you'll be under attack. The mother creature will constantly try to create more communist mutant attackers. The attackers start as mutant eggs and soon hatch into nasty creatures. Hey, kind of like Phoenix. Some of the mutant eggs appear not to hatch. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. They're actually shield-penetrating bombs in disguise. You begin with a small reserve of anti-mutant cannons. Each time the mutants destroy one of your cannons, a reserve is called up. When the last cannon is destroyed, the game is over. You can, however, earn bonus cannons after every wave of mutant attacks. You'll never run out of ammunition, so keep shooting. Your cannons destroy communist mutants, mutant bombs, and the mother creature itself. Okay, what are they? Okay, there's the mother creature. Got it. There's the diving mutant attackers and mutant eggs, and then you get a flag if you clear the screen. Bonus cannons are awarded after every odd-numbered wave, so you keep getting lives. Really nice. And then the difficulty is level 1 through 9. Maneuverability is the speed of your anti-mutant cannon with difficulty switches. Your shields are activated by pulling back on the joystick. You can use shields only once until a new wave appears. Oh, that's tricky. So be careful, don't pull the joystick back or you'll use shields on accident. We have Time Warp, which you can activate pushing forward on the joystick, all right, and then Penetrating Fire, Guided Fire, and then multiplayer games. Players 1 and 3 share the left joystick. Players 2 and 4 share the right joystick. Number in the left corner indicates which player is up. Okay, I got to change that. I didn't know this was being played, but you share where one player is going to be moving and one's going to shooting. I think that's what they mean. So it's technically only two joysticks you can use at the same time. And then they have, again, previews of the SuperCharger. Love it. So cool. Yes, keep it coming, Manly. I love it. So this one, again, was available in Europe as well as North America. Let's play Communist Mutants from Space by Stephen H. Landrum at sometime in August 1982 on your brand new SuperCharger add-on. Oh, this one still has Arcadia. So there's another one you can get. It'll say Starpath whenever you play the game. All right, let's do this. I want to see some communists. Let's do it. All right, yeah, it is exactly like we're playing a Phoenix variant, or it actually reminds me more of Galaxian. But we've seen other games in the arcade do this, where it's eggs at the top of the screen, and they grow or change into different enemies. Larva. Oh, they got me on that one. We can get the communist mother at the top. Yes, got it. I can only fire one shot at a time, just like Space Invaders. So you gotta be a little careful of your shot, making sure it gets on or not. Almost there. Nice. Got a bonus ship. I'll take it. Let's get him to stop. If I can sneak a path through. This is not at the same level as Phaser Patrol for the Starpath, but this does have a good quality to it. This doesn't feel like just a normal shooter that we've played before. And offering different game variations is a nice touch, very fitting for the time. So if we never take out the mother communist, that means they're just going to keep making more and more enemies for us. Oh, I ran into the bullet. They are giving us a lot of lives. A generous amount, considering most shooters don't do that. Wow. The way that they come down on you is very well done. It's actually a little closer to Galaga, which we still haven't seen anything remotely close to Galaga. And by that, I mean there's nothing that's made a game where you get your ship and a tractor beam sucked up and then get double firepower. No one's tried that. Because they're coming down, actually homing in on my location. Which is well done. I gotta get that. Come on. It's like almost shooting the UFO in Space Invaders. You gotta sneak it by. Got it, finally. Once you take out the mothership, then they get angry and they start coming down. Kill all those commies. Kill them. Kill all the commies. Oh, man. It is still only one shot at a time. And bear in mind, we have not seen Demon Attack yet on the Atari VCS. It's not here yet. That one is a very standout quality title for the Atari. We will be seeing it before the end of the year, but it's not here yet. There's been plenty of shooters we've seen so far. This one doesn't offer as much robust variations as the original Space Invaders for the Atari VCS. The killer app, if you will. And this did offer other game variations, so let's try them out. What happens if I push Game Select? Oh, so cool. Look at this. The Game Select doesn't just change the number on your Atari VCS. It actually shows you the player difficulty. Check that out. And then if you want shields, let's turn everything on and see what it's like. So that means we can add options, but we're not doing it like every other Atari game. This is the very first time we've seen an Atari VCS game give us a menu like this. So if I wanted to do 2, 3, it's up to 4 players, but remember, this is 4 players where you're sharing a controller. I don't know if that counts as 4 actual players. And then difficulty, we can do, let's do difficulty 3. Let's bring shields up. everything. Turn it all on and go. Now, we got a shield. Got it. Okay, I've already wasted my shield, but check that out. Now my bullet is going through, and I can curve the bullets to go through different enemies. Oh, but yeah, really intense. Now the firepower of the enemy has increased, but do I still have one shot. But now my bullet goes through different... So I can curve it in. That's pretty nice. Let's go all the way up there. Oh, and I got the slowdown. Yep, if you use the joystick, it's almost like we're getting, in a way, it feels like we have a power-ups in a shooter. We haven't collected any power-ups, but we're doing things as if we had power-ups in a shooter. We have yet to see that in any shooter so far. There has been nothing to pick up or collect for any shooters on anything. We've seen things close, like maybe it was something that was going to give us a power-up, but no, we have not seen it yet. But what they're offering in this game is pretty cool. So I turn my shields on, there we go. It's only temporary, but I can only use it once per wave. Oh, and I blew it at the end. But I like that nice touch. Sneak over there. Yeah, it lets you have the control to curve the bullets. And you can make all these adjustments in the changes for your game select. Well done. Yeah, look how many bullets the enemies are coming. And we do up on the joystick for the slowdown. Use it while you can. So cool. Yeah. Responds really, really well. Yeah, we've already seen games on home computer. We've seen one or two that allow dual shot. So your ship had two shots at once, and we've even seen that in an arcade. But we haven't seen it where it was the power up, or your ship is upgraded to two shots. We haven't seen that yet. Very well done. Yeah, so it's another shooter. We've already seen plenty for the home console, but this one's a well done one. I wouldn't say up there is like one of the best games you could play on a home console, but it is very good. 3.5 stars at least for a home console, possibly even 4. I'm looking to the chat. I see Victor's going 4.5. Yes, and the title, right? Communist Mutants from Space. It's fantastic. Of all the games we played, this title is out there. It's something that really pops. Very different. Yeah, so I'm seeing 4 from Hunter, 3.75. Yeah, I wish I could. 4 stars, even with, yeah, it's great options. Yeah, not as good as Phaser Patrol, I'm with you on that. But of all the games you can play on a home console, I'm going to say 4. 4 stars, it's an excellent game. Not one of the best that you could play on a home console, but it's very well done. Yeah, there we go. Errol's going 4.5. Very nice. There you go. So now, of all the games you could be playing right now on your SuperCharger, there's more. Our next game is Fireball, that you could be buying on a cassette. Remember, it's only 15 bucks. Why not collect the whole set of the first games on your Atari SuperCharger? Let's take a look at the box. Fireball. That box looks fantastic. Looks like a rock album. It doesn't really tell you much about the game, though. It just looks really cool. And you have to have the SuperCharger, and you have to have a cassette player. Otherwise, it will not work. Juggle the red-hot fireball before it becomes too hot to handle. Up to 6 randomly moving fireballs, up to 4 players. Automatic indication of high scores. Nice, they're putting all the things back there, and they have this is now with paddle control, so we're going from one to the other. I want to make sure I make a note of how many players can play. Yes. Let's see the other art we have for Fireball. Besides the box, we also have the cassette we're going to be popping in. Cassette player. Any old cassette player will do. Just get that noise to go through the audio jack into your Starpath SuperCharger. How do we play this? Here's the manual for Fireball. As usual, the SuperCharger peripheral for your Atari VCS will not work on the ColecoVision add-on, the first expansion module that allowed you to play Atari VCS games, and later it's not going to work on your Atari 7800. I've heard later they've made it work, but right now in 1982 it would not. These won't work to play. All right, so it shows you how to plug in and correct the tape to play. Now, Fireball. Imagine this: you're a juggler. You've been practicing long and hard to become a very good juggler. You can juggle rubber balls, fragile plates, even razor-sharp daggers. Now you're ready for the ultimate test, the Fireball competition. The situation is you've done well in early matches of the International Tournament of Jugglers. Is that a real thing? I don't know. Most of the competitors have been eliminated. You've survived. Now it's down to the final event, the fireball. Your objective is catch the blazing fireball and hurl it back at the wall of blocks. Rack up points by smashing blocks and clearing the screen, and prove your skill as a juggler by keeping a number of fireballs in the air. First 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have 5 tries just in case it becomes a little too hot to handle. You move left and right on the bottom of the screen using standard paddle controllers. You get too close to failing a fireball, you'll be able to catch it with the closest free hand. Press the red button, and you'll hurl the fireball back toward the blocks. It'll travel at an angle toward the side of the hand holding it. You can hold 2 fireballs at a time, but not for long, and you'll hurl it back. Choose not to catch the fireball, and you want to deflect it back immediately. Okay, so it's a Pong game, or a Breakout game, but done a different way. Something we haven't seen before, at least Breakout done like this. Yes, right? They're turning the Pong or Breakout into juggling. Nice touch. Each time you eliminate a set of blocks, another will be added to the game. So it shows our score and number of players there. On our Atari VCS, we use the game select switch to show how many players. Each time you tug on the switch, you'll add a player and move to the next variation, pressing the game select switch. Now, if you remember on the Atari VCS, you kind of daisy-chained paddle controllers together. This worked really good on Video Olympics when it came out on the Atari, and the 4 players would be available on the paddle, which is great. Yes, 4 players. But I believe all 4 players are not playing at the same time, so it's not Warlords. We're not playing all at the same time. You have to take turns. Not cool. All right, how many game modes we got? We got Fire Trap. Smash away the block walls, imprisoning 2 additional fireballs. And then they come tumbling toward you. We got Marching Blocks. Each time you catch a fireball, the rows of blocks march 1 step toward you. You'll be able to free fireballs trapped between rows of blocks, and every once in a while, a mystery fireball appears. We got Knock-a-Block, the variation for beginners or warm-ups. Blast away the block, so it's like Breakout. Yeah, so we're going to try Knock-a-Block first. Then we got Migrating Blocks. Just when you think you're about to hurl a fireball, okay, it's going to be moving every few seconds. Rows of blocks rotate one direction, so they just move around. Then we got Cascade. 5 fireballs trapped in cavities. Smash through and release them, ready to juggle for dear life. So that's the crazy mode. And then we got some tips for top scoring, because you got to have the high score, keeping it challenging, and then scoring points. And then we got the game previews for all the other games on your Starpath SuperCharger. There it is. Everything all together. Nice. Now, when we play these games on the SuperCharger, they go right in. They just play as if it was on a cartridge. In real life, in 1982, it would not. It would be taking a little bit of time. All right, we got lots of versions we could be playing in the United Kingdom or in the United States. Let's play some Fireball. This is by Scott Nelson at sometime in August 1982 on your brand new SuperCharger, either by Arcadia or Starpath. Most people are going to get Starpath because they had to change the name. All right, what do we do for game modes? We got player 1, Fire Trap, 2, Fire Trap. Okay, so you pick the game mode. This is me going through the game modes. I like how the SuperCharger games, I guess Phaser Patrol doesn't count, but the other ones, when you go through game selections, it's not just a number changing. It actually is presented pretty well. So there's the marching. There's Knock-a-Block. Let's give that a shot. So we do 1 player Knock-a-Block, and let's go. So you can see player 1 first try, because if you do multiple people, they're just going to take turns. All right, we're in. It's Breakout, but look, I caught the ball. Whoa. And actually, I'm a person at the bottom of the screen. We just played Squash on the Atari or the Commodore VIC-20 last episode. Squash would have, I called that the downgrade for ball and paddle or Pong games. It was just terrible, but this feels like it's the upgrade, the next evolution of ball and paddle or Pong games. Yeah, that's essentially what I'm doing, is I'm just catching and then throwing the ball. So this is Breakout, but I have this little respite. I can rest, stand a little bit while I wait to throw the ball and put it where I want. So if I'm really, really good, I'd be doing what the pros do, which is throw it over to the side, yeah, and continue to break that side until I can get to the ceiling, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's how you play Breakout. Yeah, just like this. Nice and easy. Get up there. Oh, it's different. Okay, and they even have this program a little different than Breakout. Notice how it would break a little piece, and I got it to the top. Nice. They changed the programming just a little bit for it. Yeah, that's a good point. The ball is flashing, so it is a little difficult to see the ball. Oh, and if you drop the ball, it comes out. That's a nice touch. Okay, so we can go to different game modes. Besides knock-a-block, we also have migrating, and we also have cascade, the crazy one. That looks insane. You have to keep all the balls going, but I guess that's the point of the juggling. So let's go ahead and try fire trap. Player 1 fire trap. Here we go. Yeah, I'm getting blinking on the ball, at least the ball that's being thrown. So it's a little difficult to take a look. Let's get it to the top. Okay, we got another ball up, so now we got to keep 2 balls going, because if any of them drop, then that's game over. Oh, like that. No! That's kind of what it is, Victor, yes. All right, let's do it again. Toss it up. Nice and easy. Let's go. Depends on what hand you catch it on, and that's how it's going to come out. So you can catch 2 balls. See, I just did that one. Got it. Toss them out there. Yeah, I still think this one would be just a notch above the evolution of breakout games. It's much better than squash we played before, that's for sure. Any game that does, let's just bounce a ball against a wall is just annoying. Oh, and if you drop it, nope. The flashing ball is difficult to see, though. So there you go. Fire trap, marching, and let's do the crazy one. Let's skip that and skip migrating. Let's do cascade. Here we go. It's doing the same amount of flashing no matter how many balls are on screen at once. Nice and easy. Let's see if we can get it to go at the top up there. So it's still essentially just breakout. And you do need to keep track of where your hand catches the ball, because that's where you're going to throw it. So if I catch it on my left hand, it's going to go out the left side right there. Yeah, now we're looking good. But now we have the chaos of every ball coming. I'm racking up the points. But I got to watch every time. Oh, gosh. So that's pretty fun. Too cool. So there's Fireball, the next evolution of breakout games. Of all the games you could be playing on a home console, it's still pretty good. The Starpath SuperCharger. What do you know? I had no idea these kinds of games existed because I did not play these. I never played any cassette games on the Atari. Yeah. Now, this is still Breakout. So if you're not a big fan of Breakout or consider it boring, you wouldn't like it. But I still consider this above average because of the presentation. It works pretty good. Yeah, around 3 stars or around the average range. I'd even go as high as 3.5. But I'm thinking of it as all the consoles that are out there. Everything you can play on consoles right now, this is a pretty good version of Breakout. I could still say a notch above would be Super Breakout on the Atari VCS because of the number of game modes. It has even more than this. And it allows for more people to play at the same time. This is only one at a time, alternating. Yeah, if you like these kinds of games, you're probably with me. I'm going to go 3.5 stars of everything you could be playing on a home console. Well done. Yeah, so cool. All right, but that's not all. We got one more. The last of the Atari SuperCharger games you can be playing on your Atari VCS. This is Suicide Mission. Let's take a look at the box. Loving the front of the box for all these SuperCharger games. So cool. Let's flip it over on the back. And as usual, yep, and this one's by Arcadia, so they didn't have Starpath take over yet. Shrunk down, 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 and fight deadly battle deep inside the human body. Realistic amoeba motion. 30 randomly moving virus attackers. And this one is going to be using the Atari VCS joystick. And previews of other Arcadia games. Because the idea was you buy this one device, and then all the games after that are going to be cheaper. This, ladies and gentlemen, I think is the first time a peripheral was added on in the hopes that people would buy more games later, and it didn't work. And it's not working now. This isn't successful. But this formula is going to be played out throughout video gamedom, I think even till now. So it's going to continue to happen. Just amazing. All right, let's see the other art we have for Suicide Mission. There it is. This one by Starpath after they changed it. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be like that. At least the screenshot shows on the back of the box. There's the ad you would have seen in magazines at the time. Zooming down to inside of a human body. There it is, the SuperCharger by Starpath, formerly Arcadia, because I think we had to change our name because of the home console. At least that's my guess. All right, let's take a look at the manual for Suicide Mission. There it is again. How do you do the supercharger? What do you do? It's not a cartridge. You plug this giant, frustratingly terrible device into your Atari VCS. Then you get a cassette tape, plug that into your the supercharger, and then play the cassette tape and load the game. This one happens to be Suicide Mission. A growing abscess, perilously close to a human heart, an invasion of a lethal virus multiplying faster than the body's warrior leukocytes can destroy them. Your mission is to shrink down, 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 smaller than a speck of dust, board a microscopic submarine and navigate through the bloodstream until you encounter your deadly foes. Any volunteers? Those are the odds against you. Even though they're fast and tough, you're smart, you're simply outnumbered and the enemy is tough. The bad guys are a fiendish virus, tough to kill. A direct hit with a penicillin torpedo divides the colony. Hit it again and they divide into a creepy little virus. A third blast pulls their plug for good. Most of them just cruise along attacking their host cells. Watch out for a particularly nasty number that goes straight to your throat. So it starts off the game. We have difficulty switches to choose A for single torpedoes. B gives you salvos. Okay. Left difficulty switches for player number 1. Right is for player 2. This one's another game where we're not playing at the same time. You have to take turns. Tugging on the joystick turns the screen on. And wait, but in a small submarine, the screen only lasts a few seconds. Hold them on too long, and they will heat up, causing to vaporize all the virus along with yourself. Wait, like the screens cool down? Wait, what? They're going to control that with a joystick? Why would they do that? Then we got difficulty options. This is where you want to start. And this medium is the... Oh, okay, so the longer you take to destroy everything, the screen gets redder and redder, it looks like. So it's giving you the incentive to keep shooting stuff. There's our enemies. We got viral, sub, creepy, and deadly. Bonus submarines, easy, medium, and hard. And as usual, SuperCharged game previews for all the other games on your SuperCharger. We also got the other versions in Europe and in North America. Let's play some Suicide Mission. Doesn't sound very appealing, though. This is by Stephen Landrum and Steve Hales at sometime in August 1982 on your Atari VCS. Here we go. Whoa, the flicker is real. I can't believe it. It's doing this pseudo... It's hard to describe. It's like you're doing dashes instead of a solid pixel on the screen. It's a way to get higher resolution on the Atari VCS, but you're suffering because you get more flicker. All right, let's see game modes. Player 1, there's player 2. Do they play at the same time? Let's see. Let's go ahead and go in. Oh, so maybe we have both joysticks plugged in, just in case. We'll try it again with player 1. Yeah, the first presentation, though, it's rough. The way that this game looks is just a lot of flicker. I can imagine you having eyesight problems. All right, let's go in with a player 1 game. Oh, yeah. It sounds and looks like asteroids. However, I don't have the same physics as asteroids. Whenever I move around, it feels more like I'm driving a tank rather than flying through space or inside the human body as they're trying to portray here. It's still playable, though. It looks like asteroids, but it plays not the same. No, what is this? UFOs inside the human body? Yep, they're breaking apart, but I guess because they didn't want to do the asteroid look and wanted to make it look like a virus. All the enemies are squirming around. It does look like a science project, right? Nice touch, changing up the color of the screen. In a way, it feels like I have a little bit more control because I'm not drifting in space. Whenever I move, I stop on a dime. So you could say you have a slightly better control because I'm not floating around everywhere. But I still can't get over the design because it's difficult to see. I feel like I'm going to have to change my eye prescription after this. Oh, really? There is no flickering. Interesting. I wonder if we need to try a different one. Just to be fun, just for fun, then let's try something out. Let's go with a different one and see if it responds the exact same way, just in case. Oh, and if you think those sounds are obnoxious, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it might just be that. We'll have to revisit this one if that's the case, where it's not emulating it correctly. If anything, I'll include some links down below of other gameplay to get a true experience, but it is obviously Asteroids, and we've seen and played Asteroids before on Atari home computer and the Atari VCS, and then tons and tons of Asteroid variants. This originally was called Meteoroid when they were making it. Yeah, I'm using Stella for this one. Atlas is already going 2 stars for that. Whether there's flickering or not, Suicide Mission, of the 4 titles we've seen by Starpath, this one for the SuperCharger doesn't deliver as high as the others. I'm going to have to say it's around the average range. The one thing is, when you play an Asteroid game, you kind of want the physics and the gravity, and when this one takes it away, it doesn't feel like you're flying or piloting a ship. Errol's going 3 stars, and I'm going to say that as well. I consider this fairly average for all the games you could be playing on a home console. 3 stars for Suicide Mission. All right, after that, that would end the first round of Atari SuperCharger. Yes, right? Now, thankfully, you didn't get this one on the Atari SuperCharger. You got Phaser Patrol that came with it. This is one you would have bought extra, but compared to the other 3 releases, this one is more lackluster. Yeah, you can tell that they're trying to push what the Atari can do, but it's just not done very well. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. It's time to go to the arcade and play Talbot. This one is a very peculiar one. Of all the arcade games, this one's also hard to find, but we also don't have an official advertisement flyer for Talbot. All we have is an example of a screenshot of the game. We're going to the arcades to play Talbot, developed by Alpha Denchi, published by Volt Electronics at sometime in August 1982. So what is Talbot? Well, Talbot was a breed of dog that is now extinct. We control a peasant with a pointed hat. He's a rabbit breeder and accompanied by his loyal hunting dog, which is a Talbot breed. We have to recapture all the rabbits that have escaped running around the maze field. And there's going to be thieves that are there that are trying to steal the rabbits. So we're essentially playing a hunting arcade game, if that's the best way to describe it. There we go. I like that idea, Victor. That's what we should do. I have never heard of this one. I am familiar with from a few websites and people that have said that this was available in Japan and some parts of Asia. I wouldn't be surprised if people in Europe had played this one too. So if you have played Talbot or seen this, let me know, because otherwise it's a complete mystery to me. So they're going through the attract mode. Let's get going on how to play or what happens with Talbot. Put a coin in and let's go. It is a maze game, so I'm the guy in the red hat at the bottom. I'm supposed to just collect rabbits. Now, if you notice when I try to go to the rabbits, they're the same speed as me, and I can't catch them. And they go down the holes that look suspiciously like targets. Let's see if I can pick one up. No, so it's really hard to pick up a rabbit. So what you need to do is use your dog to help catch the rabbit. So I picked up one. And I got one rabbit down the bottom. So you use your Talbot dog that's with you, and the Talbot dog has 2 buttons. It has a run button to go try to catch one. But it also has another button to lay grass down that makes the rabbits move slow. You notice at the top, I just dropped grass, and the rabbit is going slow in there, so I can go come and pick him up. Got him. And the bad guys are the crazy-looking ones in shades. They've already captured 4 rabbits. I've only got 1, so I'm not doing so good. I'm going to go and pick up my second rabbit. So it's now 2-4. So I can use my dog to send him out, which is an interesting mechanic nowadays. Playing a video game in the arcade right now and having a second dog that you can control is really bizarre. And I can understand why this is not found anywhere or not heard of, because it's the concept is so strange. So we'll leave some grass there, hopefully catch some. And even we move slow through the grass too as it drops down. What, is that coffee? I don't know what happens when I get the coffee. Oh, it's fuel! Wait, what fuel? Is this scramble? We need fuel? So I've dropped some grass down. There we go. I can catch some rabbits over here. Can I get 2? I can. Nice. So I could pick up 2 rabbits and bring them down here. But I'm doing terrible. Compared to the bad guys at the top of the screen, if 6 rabbits to my... Nice. So I have 4. We'll still keep going. I got some caught in the grass on this side. So you're laying traps, or having the dog lay traps by creating grass to slow the rabbits down so you can catch the rabbits and then bring them back to your stall at the bottom. Bizarre. Yes, right? Yeah, the coffee works great. I move a lot faster. I can go catch some rabbits. Now I want to see, can I go to the top of the screen and take out the... I'm going to go steal their rabbits. Yes! They haven't tried to steal mine. I can only steal one of theirs at a time, though, it looks like. Oh, the one guy doesn't like that. He's running down really fast. What a bizarre idea, though. Of all the games we played in the arcade, this is taking a nod from Pac-Man and other maze games, obviously, but the idea of having another character, or the dog that you move around, and the only other game I can think of that's even remotely close to this was the sheepdog game that we played on the ZX Spectrum, which is a type-in game. So this is crazy that this is in the arcade. Yes. Oh yeah, the dog's dropping fertilizer. That's what it is. No way! Look, they're doing lock and chase here. What is this? That's the same kind of barrier that you'd have to walk through in lock and chase. Oh, the coffee! Gotta go get that coffee. Very slow pace compared to some of the other games we played in the arcade. That's for sure. Spill the coffee. Get some fuel. Nice. Let's lay some grass here, and some there, and see if we can get some rabbits to come down. And the laying traps is kind of reminiscent to Hayunkyo Alien. A top-down maze game, you have to trap, or lay a trap for enemies to fall in, so you can see I'm dropping grass down for them to get caught in, but it's all random where the rabbits are going to go. Oh, that's a good point. We've seen home console games better than home computer games. We've seen some home computer games better than the arcade, but this is a rare point where this game wouldn't be as good. Like, I'd rather play the SuperCharger games on my home console than play this game in the arcade. Amazing. Alright, so there you go. That's Talbot, one of the strangest arcade games we've played. Of all the arcade games so far, I'd have to give this one subpar. I don't really want to say bad because it's ambitious, but you could have a good time, but you wouldn't be putting your corners in this game if there's other arcade games out there, like the big ones, Donkey Kong Jr., Frogger, Galaga. I mean, those are where the quarters were going to go, not this one. Yes, right? Oh, 3.5 stars from Atlas. Pretty good. Yeah, of all the arcade games out there, I'm going to have to say 2.5 for Talbot. Slower paced. The mechanic doesn't work particularly well because of the randomness of the rabbits, and because you're going against the 2 computer characters. If you put in and do 2 players, you're just going to take turns. So it'd be cool if it was the second player controlling the bad guys, and you're trying to steal rabbits from one another, but it doesn't do that. Oh, nice. Underhill 19.7. I'll take that. Too cool. All right, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Hit the break key. Tune in next episode where Avalon Hill tries their hand at roguelikes. That's it for today, and like I always say, if they keep adding expansions to the Atari VCS, maybe it will last forever. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.